Hi, my name is Gabriel, and I'm 15 years old. I have a story to tell you that you might want to hear. It's about me, my sister Skyler, and her big secret. It is very important to me. But no matter what, my mom absolutely can't find out, because if she sees this... But let's start at the beginning. The thing is, our mother is very strict and has a short fuse. If she didn't like something, she would immediately start berating and punish my sister and me. And she didn't like a lot of things we did. She wouldn't let us go to parties, be on the internet, or dress to stand out. I do not know why, but she considered such things to be evil and vulgar. It is little wonder that our dad couldn't stand it and left. Skyler and I stayed to live with our mother and had to endure her temper every day. Skyler had it worse because she was older and a girl. Our mother had impossible standards for her and scolded her much more than me. I could see how much it hurt my sister, but she couldn't do anything and listened to each scolding in silence. And then, one day, she closed herself off from people and turned very serious. I couldn't understand what was going on with her until I noticed the bruises on her legs. But where could they have come from? I asked Skyler about them, but she said it didn't matter. It seemed to me that she was hiding something from me. But what? The weird things didn't end there. Skyler and I usually came home at the same time after school, but over the past month, she'd often return late, and she hadn't been delayed at school. But where had she been going? Long story short, I decided to find out all of my sister's secrets, and one day followed her. Skyler left school and went in a completely different direction from our house. I followed, unseen by her. After walking a few blocks, my sister walked into a strange club. What could she be doing there? I followed her inside. It was dark there, with muted music playing in the background. A disco ball was spinning under the ceiling, reflecting light in all directions. There was a metal pole in the center of the club. I hid behind a door and watched. A few minutes later, Skyler came out. She was wearing tight shorts and high heels. Why was she dressed like that? My mom would have kicked her out of the house for wearing such clothes. The music got louder. Skyler came up to the pole, grabbed onto it, and hung from it using her legs. What was she even doing? I quietly took out my phone and started filming her. Skyler swayed to the music and posed on the pole. She spun around it and danced. When she finished, I slipped out the door and into the street. I went home, deep in thoughts. Now I knew my sister's secret. That's where she had been disappearing off to after school, and the bruises on her legs were from holding on to that pole. Everything fell into place, but what was it all about, and why was she doing it? So I decided to talk to my friend from school called Martin. He was an excellent student and knew just about everything. I texted him and sent the video I'd shot at the club. Martin replied right away. He said that my sister was doing something nasty. He told me about girls dancing in clubs for money, swirling around a pole and undressing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. There was no way Skyler was doing something like that. I decided to talk to her before it was too late. In the evening, when our mother was busy and couldn't hear us, I went to my sister's room and told her that I'd seen what she'd been doing that day. You dance around a pole and strip for money, but why? I asked angrily. Skyler quickly closed the door to the room, sat me down in a chair, and said, Gabriel, you've got it all wrong, you dummy! And she told me her secret. It turned out that what she was doing was called pole dancing, and there was nothing dirty about it. It was an acrobatic type of dance. She did not undress at all, and on the contrary, it was paying her money to be taught all the moves. Yes, many people mistakenly thought that it was a shameful activity. That's why Skyler kept her passion a secret. I asked her why she'd started pole dancing in the first place. What she said shocked me. Haven't you noticed that the way Mom raises us makes us indecisive and insecure? She asked. I've decided to do something about it, and pole dancing helps me be more confident in pursuing my passions. And you know what? Skyler was right. I admired her for her bravery. I wanted to be just like her. She asked me not to tell Mom anything yet, and I promised to keep her secret. Since then, my sister and I had grown closer. After all, I was keeping her secret and helping her move towards her goal. I covered for her if Mom asked where she was. I said that Skyler was staying in the school library while she was actually out performing. Her mother believed me and did not pay much attention to my sister's strange behavior. And Skyler was really changing. She had become much more confident and braver. She even dared to disagree with my mom sometimes. And it was pole dancing that had given her that confidence. She even took me to practice one day and suggested I give it a try. I tried to do some tricks on a pole, which, by the way, is called a pylon, but I failed. It turned out to be very hard. Skyler showed me how to do it, and after half an hour, I finally started to make some progress. I'll be honest, I even liked it. I wondered if guys pole danced as well, or if that hobby was only for girls. Everything was going well, until one day, Skyler came to school and found a nightclub flyer with a picture of a pole dancing girl on her locker. Someone had put it there on purpose. Many students began to whisper while looking at my sister and giggle behind her back. What had happened? Did they know everything? And when one day, someone shouted after her, "Hey, stripper!" I realized that Skyler's secret had been revealed. But who could have done it? After all, no one but us had known about it. But then I thought about Martin and quickly sought him out. "Martin, have you showed anyone the video I sent to you?" I asked him. He looked embarrassed and admitted that he had sent the video of my sister to a friend who had sent it to 3 other people, and those had sent it to their friends. As a result, after some time, the whole school had watched that video. I was so angry with Martin that I pushed him. "Do you realize what you've done?" I shouted angrily. "What's the big deal? Let everyone know that your sister does dirty things," argued Martin. I completely lost it then. I told my former friend that he didn't understand anything. Skyler was a good girl and would never allow herself to get involved in anything bad. What she was doing was just an ordinary sport. "And you have no right to judge her because it's none of your business," I told him angrily. From that moment on, Martin was no longer my friend. I left, knowing that I had done the right thing. But the problem was still there. People kept messing with my sister. She remained calm and reserved, and the bullying at school didn't seem to bother her at all. Maybe she was holding herself back from bursting into tears. Or maybe the pole dancing classes had truly made her so confident that she wasn't bothered by what other people thought of her. But I still apologized to Skyler and said it was my fault. I told her about the video from the club and Martin. I waited for my sister to scold me, but she just smiled and said, "It's okay, Gabriel. It would happen sooner or later. I'm ready for whatever happens next." I was surprised that Skyler had become so confident and bold. I even envied her. She did not pay any mind to the people bullying her and kept going to her pole dancing practice. But things only got worse from there. Rumors about my sister reached the teacher's ears. They told everything to the principal, who called our mother to the school. It was a disaster. I was so scared, even though it wasn't me who was in trouble. Skyler, on the other hand, looked calm and confident. I didn't know what the principal had said to our mother, but she came out of his office red with anger. She came up to my sister and practically hissed, "We'll talk at home." She left, and we stayed at school. My legs were shaking. Skyler shrugged and went to class as if nothing had happened. After school, we went home together. I was hiding behind my sister. Our mom was already waiting for her in the living room, and she looked furious. She started yelling at Skyler and calling her all sorts of names. She said that my sister was a disgrace to her. Skyler, on the other hand, stood proudly in front of Mom and looked straight into her eyes. She was not afraid of her at all and said that there was nothing wrong with what she was doing. Mother didn't know what pole dancing was and kept yelling at my sister. I wanted to stand up for her and tell her that I had been to the club and even tried pole dancing myself, that there was nothing wrong with it. But when I looked at Mom, I got so scared I couldn't utter a word. I felt that Skyler wanted me to back her up. She looked at me, and there was a look in her eyes that said, "Come on, tell her, don't be a coward." But I couldn't. I simply didn't say anything. And in the end, my sister told our mom everything she thought of her. "I don't want to live with you anymore, and I'm moving to Dad's," she said angrily and left. Mother looked at me, but I looked down. Skyler packed up her things, called a taxi, and left. She didn't even say goodbye to Mom or me. I hadn't seen my sister after that. She didn't show up at school. A while later, I found out that she had moved to another one. I went to the club where she had been pole dancing a few times, but she didn't come back there either. Had she given up on her passion? I wanted to believe that Skyler had just moved to another club, but I still feel guilty. After all, I was a coward and did not support my sister, while she was brave and stood her ground. I still lack self-confidence. What do you think I should do to become more like Skyler? Write your ideas in the comments.